members of HeadStart, very passionate about promoting entrepreneurship. My life is a lot about talking to entrepreneurs left, right and center. That's something that I do all the time. And as a part of the work that I do over here with HeadStart, I really get to interact with a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. Like every week I'd probably be interacting with about 5 or 6 people who are talking about, okay, I want to get started this way, that way, what is it I should do next. And after last time Startup Saturday, our team really sat down together and we said that, you know what, let's start doing a series of events, maybe 20-minute talks, which are very relevant to this particular set of people, aspiring entrepreneurs, and really over a 1-year period, take them through all the cycles of how a startup goes, right from the question about to be or not to be an entrepreneur, what business idea is good for me, how to find my co-founder, how to build a good team, how to raise finance, write a business plan. Of course, there'll be smaller things. We'll do small, mini, fun kind of workshops for that. All the way to product development, product management, marketing, sales, really everything that the startup life cycle covers. So the intention of this talk over here today is very simple. Those of you who are on the fence, like how many aspiring entrepreneurs, once again, please? All right. So I'd really like to understand the audience a little better. Are you? Have you guys already thought of ideas that you want to get started on? Yes, you've already thought of. You want to start up, but you don't really have an idea yet. Okay, fabulous. So that's equal proportion. All right. So I'll share a little more about myself. Probably gives a kind of background into who I am and why what I'm going to talk to you about might be relevant to you. So besides talking to a number of startups as a part of my passion, I have also founded 2 companies on my own. One was a broadcast media company and the second was an embedded product in the agricultural tech space. Being a zero budget startup, we actually closed orders worth more than 3 crores within the first 3 months of operation for the first startup of ours. Still ended up cash flow negative. A lot of lessons learned. And right now I'm currently doing 2 things. One, consulting towards raising the seed capital for my next big idea, and also doing something that I'm very passionate about, building a portal called startuphow.com, which answers a lot of entrepreneurship specific questions. Alright, so even before we get started about what business idea is best for me, we really need to be clear about whether we want to be an entrepreneur or not, or what does it really take to be a successful entrepreneur. Any of you have asked this question to yourself? Am I entrepreneur material? Should I start up? So really, what have the others have probably already answered it. So may I ask a couple of people from the audience, what do you think, what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? You may not be successful yet in your own perspective, but what do you think it takes? Anybody from this side?
Very passionate about what you want to do.
Very passionate about what you want to do.
You are a superhero.
Okay, fine. I guess we won't take hands, we'll just let people speak out loud. Yeah, what did you say, sir?
Superhero. You need to be a superhero.
Okay, fine. I can completely understand what you mean there. Okay. Now, one thing that I've really learned I read a lot about entrepreneurship, and I really talk to a lot of funded startup founders, unfunded startup founders, people who bootstrapped and really made it big. Every time I go to a conference, I try to see, catch up with these guys and really talk about their story. How did you do it? And one thing that I found common, it's also something that I understood out of the research that I did before preparing this material, is that, when it comes to the question to be an entrepreneur or not, you need to have a deep burning desire inside for whatever you want to accomplish. There should be a very strong why you want to be an entrepreneur for you. Like for some people it's about proving a point. For some people it's about really making that money. For some people it's about the immense freedom that they can generate from the wealth that they create. But that why is critically important. If you do not have a strong enough why, chances are that your startup will fizzle out. And I've actually validated this as well with a lot of people. I actually asked about 10 companies, why are you doing it? People who didn't have a very clear idea why they're doing it were actually struggling for more than 1 year. People who had a very clear idea of why they're doing it got got rolling within 6 months. So this is something that you could really take care of. And how many in a job or something right now think that starting up is a good option in job? Want to start something soon? Now, another thing that I noticed after talking to many people is some of us really want to start up because that seems like a good alternative to a life that sucks really. Sounds familiar? This boss of mine, he is the problem. But the whole deal is, if you, to sum it up simply, you really got to be, entrepreneurship is not easy. It's like full of stress, struggle, and seriously, like having spoken to quite a few funded founders, like who really out there making their money now, they said, boy, if I knew it was so tough, I wouldn't have gotten started. Really. So when we get started, we just jump inside. Okay, we could probably silence our cell phones. Please give me a second. Before the start of Saturday, I get a lot of calls, so I should have done this. Yeah. So I was about really, we quit our jobs, we get started, and then like everything takes over. All of a sudden, instead of getting a paycheck, we are spending money left, right, and center. We get bankrupt even before we realize it. We think that like in 6 months I'll start making some revenues, that'll take care of my company, but for 1 year you've not made any revenue. In fact, you're already like 2 lakhs in debt. Very, very common scenario, and it's really, really tough. And if you aren't a rock star performer, if you aren't a performer in your current organization, chances are that things are going to be tough wherever you are, because whatever stops you in your organization is probably going to stop you in your startup as well. So I would recommend, like everyone that I talk to, before quitting your job, like many people say, I'm quitting my job and doing my startup primarily because this life sucks. I'd say, boss, rock at your work first, quit. And I'll also give another perspective to the whole thing. For an achievement-centric, high-performance person, like all of us sitting over here in the room, like people who want to start up, probably every job is not the right job. Like we really can't stick on to one job for a long time if it doesn't give us the kind of growth opportunities that we want. Like we're not going to stick. So I'm not talking about that kind of escapism in the previous scenario. So if you're that person, then just quit powerfully, do it. But if you think that things aren't working out over here, let me just try out starting up, it's like a disaster waiting to happen. So like you really need to identify for yourself what kind of an entrepreneur do you want to be. Do you want to be one of those startup builder types? Do you want to be somebody who's just making sufficient money to really take care of all your needs and really take care of the needs of your extended family, etc., etc.? Or somebody who wants to have XYZ villas, a BMW, and that is just about it? Or somebody who has the free time to travel around the world, or whatever. So, if you want to be a business entrepreneur, like the people who really, we see on TV saying that, okay, revenues of 100,000 crores, etc., 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 their life is completely different. And there are, of course, so many other kind of entrepreneurs. Even the guy who runs a retail store is an entrepreneur in a simple way. Though I would not call him an entrepreneur if he has just one retail store, but to a certain extent, his business takes care of, his needs. He is a lifestyle entrepreneur. Whatever lifestyle he wants, you really need to identify for yourself whether you want to be a lifestyle entrepreneur or whether you want to be for loss of a better word, a business entrepreneur. A business entrepreneur and really builds up an organization, grows things up, keeps scaling things up, until it provides a lot of employment, generates a lot of revenue, etc. A lifestyle entrepreneur is like pretty simple. I have this particular kind of lifestyle in mind. For example, 10 lakh rupees per month. If I'm making 10 lakh rupees per month, I don't want to do more. And please identify this at the very beginning, whether you want to be a lifestyle entrepreneur or the other types. The other types probably, because a lifestyle entrepreneur doesn't have to worry about things like a business plan.